One film director says that after he exposes Roman Reigns, he's going to have to go into hiding. Also, the PlayStation Plus program says goodbye to the Vita and PS3. Kevin Smith has a heart attack, and there's a 9 to 5 remake in the works, or reboot in the works. All this and more as we take you from pillar to post. And what's up, everybody? My name is Joe White. It's time to take you from pillar to post. This is the channel that takes you from wrestling to the world of entertainment to the world of sports and more. Hence why we call it from pillar to post. Please remember to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. More importantly, share our content. Also, if you want other content such as the audio version of the official unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show, it's easy. Become one of my $1 warriors on Patreon at patreon.com/FromPillarToPostLive. Some exclusive contents in the works, such as future live streams on Twitch. Again, you get that audio version of the official unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show and more for just $1 a month. Patreon.com/FromPillarToPostLive. Also follow me on Twitter at JoePillarToPost. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. One company that is not having such a good week, in my opinion, is CWF Mid-Atlantic. They were supposed to release an episode of their worldwide TV show on YouTube, again, for free. So I'm not gonna complain that much because it's still free. And they didn't release it this weekend this week. Reason being, from what I'm told, there was some audio. Well, I could confirm this. The audio wasn't that great with the episode that they had up. There were some issues with YouTube. CWF released a statement on the 28th of February going, hey, it's going to be late. It'll be 8 view after 10 p.m. Then they released another episode or another tweet the following day saying sorry for the continued delay. The show is 81% uploaded. Then hours later, at least 10 hours later, they released another statement going, we apologize for the delay. The show finally uploaded completely late last night, but there's some issues we won't resolve before it's available to our viewers. Our new producer is working on it, and we will have an update as soon as we can. And then the next day, they released that they're coming to Twitch, which is exciting news. I should have put that up here. But it's twitch.tv/CWF Mid-Atlantic. I encourage everybody who's watching this on YouTube and Twitch to go ahead and support those guys because they do give a fantastic product. Here's the thing I have about this, guys. I akin this to video game developers. They had the product. They played the product. They realized the audio on the product wasn't what they wanted. So they asked their producers to go back and tweak it and polish it. They are wanting to give you a better product than what they have been giving us for the beginning of the year. I can tell you that they do have a new editor and producer for Worldwide. And this is an editor/producer who, I'll just say this. He's done a lot of good sports stuff. He's done a lot of documentaries and everything. And he's really good at audio and video editing. In fact, I think he works for the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team, doing some stuff for audio and visual-wise for them, scoreboards, live video at the games, stuff like that. However, I think he has learned that pro wrestling is a totally different animal. And he's new to that, and he's working on it. I can tell you, though, I have seen some things. And I'm not going to go into any much more detail than that because I'm no fool. I dug around on YouTube and found it. It's not available anymore, I'll tell you that much, because I alerted them to it. But visually, from a video standpoint, it looks better than it has in quite a while. And in fact, it's probably the best looking episode of Worldwide this year. So that's a good check mark. It's a really good thing to have. Audio-wise, it was a bit of a disaster. There's a couple of things that the new producer, new sound guy needs to tweak. So it's a work in progress, and I'd rather them give us something that's good than put a crappy episode out there and have to face more backlash. So next week, the way it looks next week, from what my quote-unquote sources tell me, I use that term loosely, guys, we're probably going to get a double episode of Worldwide next week. And that's a good thing, because I'd rather them put out 2 good episodes that are properly edited and properly, polished, than for them to keep putting out episodes that are rushed and have a lot of issues with them. So all I'm asking is, it's not the end of the world. It's a free TV show. It's a guy who hasn't done pro wrestling before, who's getting the hang of it, and is getting feedback from the top brass at CWF about what it should look like, how it should sound. And this guy's taking those, he's taking that and running with it. So it's a good thing, guys. It's not the end of the world. Your patience will be rewarded just based off of what I've seen. So, that's the status. There was no after show. There was a quote-unquote pre-show, because Wednesday night I was like, I got to do something. And we had a good turnout for it. So I want to thank you, everybody who listened and tuned in. There is no audio version of that this week for my Patreon subscribers, because they're the audio version of the after show. The after show didn't happen. So there is no audio version of that to be found. Let's take you from pillow to post here. Let's talk about topic number 1, and I know I'm going to get copyrighted for this, but since I don't make any money off this shit anyway, I don't care. Let's get into it.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving, they just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. 9 to 5.
That's right. Dolly Parton is in the news, because Dolly Parton is saying that says the original 9 to 5 cast is all in for a sequel. We'd love to do it. This is courtesy of Entertainment Tonight's Zach Seemayer. Dolly Parton is getting fans excited for a potential long-awaited sequel to the 1980 comedy classic 9 to 5. She sat down with ABC News' Nightline on last Thursday, where she revealed that she and her 9 to 5 co-stars Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin have frequently entertained the idea of revisiting their beloved characters. In fact, she says that all the cultural climate today in today's America is the perfect backdrop. This is what she had to say on ABC News. A little bit of audio here.
And I've been talking to Lily and Jane, and we're actually, all these years we've talked about doing a sequel to 9 to 5, and it never made any real sense until just recently, when all the, equal pay, equal work for equal pay, and all the harassment, all the stuff in the workplace, we decided that we are going to do another one. We're trying to get the script and all that. Everybody's very interested, and we've all agreed that we'd love to do it if it's right. But that made a lot of changes back at that time.
And did I hear you say there might be a 9 to 5 reunion?
Yes, they're working on that now. But they presented me with an idea the other day, and I said yes, because I would always say, I don't chew my tobacco but once. Let's don't mess up a good thing. Let's don't try to redo 9 to 5. But this new idea looked like it was going to bring some new girls in on that backside that we used to play, and they go find us where we are, the old characters. We've all come up with a business of our own, and we're all in business, so they come to find us to get some input on how they're, so hopefully,
Fantastic.
I told them, I said, we better get after it. It's going to be 9T5 instead of 925. And I've been...
And, of course, Dolly Parton is talking about Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and herself. I like this idea. I'll be honest. I love 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is probably one of the best movies of the early 80s. I mean, it came out in 1980. But it is, if you've never seen the movie, it is a riot. It's a freaking hoot. I like this idea. The problem is, who are they going to get to play the 3 newer women? That's the thing. I don't have a clue. but they'll probably screw it up with some millennial bimbos that are just, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say millennial bimbos, but you get what I'm getting at. They're totally going to millennialize it. They're totally, do I think that the current Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement and the equal pay for equal women serves as a total backdrop? Yes. Do I think that the movie could send a positive message out there to the world? Yes. Do I think it should be used to send a message? Yes. But the message shouldn't overcrowd the comedy of the film. The message should not be the sole purpose of the film. But I'm excited to see who they get. The chick who played in Ghostbusters, Leslie Jones, I think her name was, she'd be perfect for this. She'd be perfect for this. Who the other two women would be, I don't know. But I think her name was Leslie Jones. Let me look this up here because I want to get it right. I'm sitting here looking, just coming up with ideas off the cuff as I usually do on the podcast. Yeah, Leslie Jones, okay? They're probably, I'm sitting here looking at this. Why not go ahead and just get Melissa McCarthy thrown in there too? They probably will. Like I said, they're going to muck it up with Hollywood yucks. It's the way it is. Instead of finding new up-and-coming actresses, who I think also would play a good thing? And it would get her out from under the 50 Shades of Grey rock is Dakota Johnson. Why not get Dakota Johnson, Leslie Jones, Melissa McCarthy, throw them in there and let them go with it, I'm not a huge Melissa McCarthy fan because I think that she's pretty much the female Will Ferrell of she comes busting in the room. Look at Fatty, yay, I'm going to play a fat character, much like Amy Schumer is doing with this I Feel Pretty movie that's coming out soon. It's a version of Shallow Hal from a female's perspective. And if anybody ever saw Shallow Hal, Shallow Hal is one of those guilty pleasures for me in that I'll watch it if it's on, but I'm never going to go buy it. I'm never going to go seek it out. It's one of those movies where it's not horrible, but it's damn sure not good either. It's very, very, very leaning on the bad side. But yeah, so 9 to 5 remake is happening, or reboot is happening. I'm excited for it, especially if they give Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton more than just a cameo role. I would love to see them more than in just one scene. Give them, let them be a part of the action. I think they could still do it. Who do you get to play the bad guy in this? Oh man, it's obvious. Steve Carell. I'm not a huge Steve Carell fan, but I totally think Steve Carell could pull off being the bad guy in 9 to 5. But knowing them, they'll get Will Ferrell to do it. Because I guarantee you, this is going to turn into one of those what they call the Rat Pack films. It's going to turn into a Will Ferrell-esque, film where it's all dick and fart jokes, for women. That's what it's going to be. Is it going to overcloud the message that the film may be trying to portray? Yes, but again, that message should not be all up in your face throughout the whole freaking movie. So. That's Dolly Parton. That's 9 to 5. It's happening. It looks like it's happening. So I'm excited for it. I hope it does happen. I'll go see it because I love the original. 2018 Oscar predictions. I know I believe I did a video about the Oscars predicting them. But I think it needs to be updated because they are this Sunday. The 90th Annual Academy Awards is on Sunday. Oh, God. It's going to be full of Me Too and Time's Up and fuck Harvey Weinstein, which Harvey Weinstein is a bastard, but we don't need it shoved down our throats each and every award ceremony. And hopefully by next year's award season, it will have died down and, they'll have their moment in the sun and this will be it. So I look for this to be just a total political bullshit fest. But let's get into the nominees here. Best Picture, Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, which is awesome. I just watched that the other day. Dunkirk, which is phenomenal. Get Out, which is phenomenal. Lady Bird is damn good. I have not seen Phantom Thread yet. The Post, very good. The Shape of Water, very good. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, winner. I think that movie is either, it's going to come down to 3 Billboards or The Shape of Water. It's going to come down to those two. Don't be surprised if, Get Out wins it just for them to make a political statement, which the Oscars are not really known for doing that. But the dark horse in all this, Lady Bird. I'm going to tell you right now, Lady Bird is my dark horse for this, but my prediction is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. It deserves to win. If it doesn't win, Shape of Water's going to win it. So it's down to those two for me. Best Director, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out. Guillermo del Toro is going to win this. Do not be surprised if Jordan Peele takes it. The dark horse is Christopher Nolan. That's just the way it is for me. That's the way I see it, at least. Best Actress. And this one comes down to, a lot of really good women. But it's Frances McDormand's year. Sorry, it just is. Well, nominees: Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, Meryl Streep for The Post. According to this article that I'm reading here from where the nominees, this was a 3-way race between Frances McDormand, Saoirse Ronan, and Sally Hawkins. The stars have aligned now for 3 Billboards to take it. I think 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is probably going to take the Oscars this year. It's probably going to get the most awards out of anybody. So I think Frances McDormand's going to win it. Dark horses are Saoirse Ronan or Sally Hawkins. I'm going to throw a third dark horse in there, or don't be surprised if Margot Robbie takes it as well, because Margot Robbie did a fantastic job in I, Tonya. I love I, Tonya. It's a really good movie. But Frances McDormand's going to win this one, I think. Best Actor, you have Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. I think that Gary Oldman's going to win it. Do not be surprised if Daniel Kaluuya takes it. Dark horse is Timothée Chalamet. That's my predictions for that one. I think Gary Oldman deserves it. Maybe he did a damn good job as Winston Churchill, and I wouldn't be surprised if he took it. Best Supporting Actress, here we have Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. It's Allison Janney's year. She took the Golden Globe, and she deserves it. She damn well deserves it. She played a damn good part in I, Tonya. Don't be surprised if Laurie Metcalf takes it, though. I love me some Laurie Metcalf, and it would be a good thing for her to win this, seeing as how she's returning in the Roseanne reboot that's coming later on this month, and it would do phenomenal things for ABC if Laurie Metcalf would win the Oscar, because they could say we have an Emmy award-winning, Oscar-winning Best Supporting actress. And I love Laurie Metcalf. She's a damn good actress, and I always get excited when I see her in anything. The dark horse here is Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige did a fantastic job in Mudbound, from what I hear, so I would not be surprised if she took it either. But I think Allison Janney, man, has it in the bag. Best Supporting Actor, Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I think Sam Rockwell is going to take it. I wouldn't be surprised. To me, this comes down to Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell. It's just 3 Billboards is going to dominate this thing, I have a feeling. It deserves to. It's a damn good movie. Is it totally predictable in all the messages it sends? Is it like a stereotype movie? What Movie Bob says? Yes, what Movie Bob says about this movie is correct, but it doesn't mean it's any less. It's good. It's not good. It is good. It's a well-told story, which is what movies are supposed to be. All the politics and everything that's coming out of this, though, however, I don't know about. But I wouldn't be surprised if Woody Harrelson or Sam Rockwell take it. The dark horse here is Willem Dafoe. Best Original Screenplay, Emily V. Gordon and Kumai Nanjiani for The Big Sick, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Guillermo del Toro and Vanessa Taylor for The Shape of Water, and Martin McDonough for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I think Get Out's going to take this one. Jordan, they're going to give one award. Jordan Peele's going to win something this year. So they're probably just going to give him the original screenplay so that they don't sit there and go, well, he got snubbed. He got snubbed at the Oscars, and you get that whole uproar. You know how that goes. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Martin McDonough takes it. I believe he took the Golden Globe for this, so as well he should have. And the dark horse here is Lady Bird. So then we have Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees are James Ivory for Call Me By Your Name, Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber for The Disaster Artist, Scott Frank and James Marigold and Michael Green for Logan, Aaron Sorkin for Molly's Game, and Dee Rees and Virgil Williams for Mudbound. I want Logan to take this one. That's me personally saying it. Are the Oscars going to do it? No. The Academy's not going to. It's just, I don't see them winning it. Call Me By Your Name's going to win this one. It's either going to be Call Me By Your Name or The Disaster Artist, one of those two, which The Disaster Artist has not. I think that's the only award that it's nominated for this year. It really, really got snubbed, which it didn't deserve to get snubbed, but it did. Best Animated Feature. Why am I reading this list? Coco is going to take it. There's no way The Boss Baby's going to win it. There's no way The Breadwinner's going to win it. There's no way Ferdinand's going to win it. Can you imagine if Ferdinand won Best Animated Picture, how much WWE would shove that down our throats? And then Loving Vincent, while Loving Vincent is beautiful to look at, I don't think it's going to take it. Disney, Coco's taking this one. Come on, it's the reign of Disney Pixar continuing. Best Documentary, I think out of all the nominees, I'm not going to read the nominees for documentary. Icarus is probably going to take this one. And Best Cinematography, Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, Shape of Water. I think Blade Runner 2049 is going to take it. It's a very good-looking film, and it deserves it. For Best Film Editing, I'm not going to go through the nominees on this one, but I think Dunkirk's going to take it. I would not be surprised if Baby Driver came in there and picked it up either. And that's all I'm really going to get into here. The Star Wars The Last Jedi is up for Best Visual Effects, but War for the Planet of the Apes is probably going to take it. As far as Best Score, Phantom Thread's probably going to take that one. And Best Original Song is probably going to go to Remember Me by Coco, or from Coco. So yeah, there's my Oscar nominees. There are a few more categories that I'm not going to get into here just because of time's sake. But yeah, so that's the Oscars. I'll be probably watching them live on Sunday night. I might even live stream during the Oscars to give my thoughts on this. God, that's a long show to sit through, but I might get it done. I might not. There's nothing big happening this Sunday except for the Oscars. So yeah, let's go on to some more stuff here as we take you from pillar to post. Glad you're listening. Thank you. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button once again and share our content. Kevin Smith is in the news here. You may remember, I'll go into this right in a little bit of a timeline here. A few years back, back in I think 2012, so it's about 5 or 6 years ago, Kevin Smith was kicked off of a Southwest Airlines flight for being quote unquote too fat to fly. Literally, they told him he wouldn't fit in the, and while he fit in the seat, they told him, hey, you're too big for that seat. We're going to have to, let you go off the airplane unless you want to purchase another seat. So he went on this big crusade against Southwest Airlines because they deemed him quote unquote too fat to fly. He then, after being deemed too fat to fly over the last 5 years, has lost a ton of weight. As you can see in that picture on the top of your screen, on the right-hand side of your screen, he's lost, about half of his weight. He doesn't weigh near as much as he used to. And I find it funny how he's like, oh, man, they're telling me I'm too fat to fly. That's bullshit. And then he goes and loses weight. So, but apparently that didn't help him. Because he was on Ralph Garman's podcast in his first interview since his health scare. He had a heart attack last week, and then 2 days later he returned home. This courtesy of the Hollywood Reporter. On Thursday, he gave his first interview about his health scare with Ralph Garman for his podcast, The Ralph Report. Part 1 of the interview posts on Friday, Part 2 on Monday. There's a quote from Kevin Smith goes, "I don't want to say I feel like a dead man walking, but I do feel like I'm not supposed to be here anymore. And it doesn't make me want to leave, but it makes me appreciate how, like, all right, let's do everything," Smith told Garman, a longtime friend of the director, whom he co-hosts the Hollywood Babylon podcast with. He told a story about how his dad was close to death and then he miraculously recovered and lived 2 months longer on borrowed time, which Smith feels like he's now doing. He goes, "I was supposed to be dead in that room, no doubt." And the thing is that Smith has,
Director Kevin Smith tweeted a selfie.
Anyway, as the video on the Hollywood Reporter website that I'm reading from plays in the background there. I look at it this way. He's lucky to be alive. He had a full blockage in the Widowmaker artery. I'm happy that Kevin Smith's alive. I enjoy Kevin Smith's work. Maybe not so much his later films, although Red State was good, but Cop Out and Yoga Hosers were just horrible. But I'm curious to see if Kevin does any more movies. He's very, very, very much entrenched in podcasting, and he's got that comic book men show on AMC. So he doesn't have to direct anything more anymore if he doesn't want to. He has written a screenplay a script for Clerks 3, and with the Weinstein Company recently being sold, who knows if that'll happen now. So I because the Weinstein Company in Miramax, they hold the rights, I believe, to Clerks. So I'm curious to see if we'll get a Clerks 3 in the next few years. I hope we do. He wants to bring the original cast back for it, the women and everything. So I'm curious to see if we get that. But I think it's time now that he's got a new lease on life, literally. Kevin, if you're out there, make Clerks 3 by any means necessary. Throw a Kickstarter up, do something. I'd gladly hand you my money for a Clerks 3. The Nintendo Switch is on your screen because Nintendo is doing a horrible thing here. They are resetting playtimes after 1 year. Better take screenshots of your playtimes if you want to hope to record them. This coming courtesy of GameSpot. The Nintendo Switch is already celebrating its first anniversary in parts of the world, but some Switch owners are discovering an unpleasant surprise on the console's birthday. It appears the Switch only keeps track of your gameplay times for 1 year, and it's begun resetting many players' records. Playtimes for launch day titles are being reset on Switch profiles. GameStop has verified the issue. The Switch, apparently GameStop released a screenshot here I'm looking at. It says that they first started playing Zelda Breath of the Wild 9 days ago. This article was written today at 9:20 a.m. And to me, GameSpot had a copy of that article or a copy of that game probably months before it was released so that they could review it. The first year has been a tremendous success for the Switch and fans alike. The system was difficult to find in stores for much of 2017 and already has amassed an impressive library of titles like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and most recently Bayonetta 2. The console is still missing some basic features that we're hoping to see, such as a proper activity log to keep track of your playtimes. The new issue only reinforces the need for one. Another thing, I'll be honest, guys, I kept my Switch for about 6 months and sold it. And the reason why I sold it is because after I beat Breath of the Wild, no other games on that thing. It's all JRPGs and silly games like ARMS. Yes, they had Super Mario Odyssey come out, but I'm just like, it's their standard 3D Mario game. There's nothing really, would I play it? Yeah. But it's nothing that I'm going to run out there and jump up and down for, Sorry about that. I didn't want to sneeze in your ear. I'm still fighting a cold. I swear I've been dealing with a cold for like the last 3 months. It's crazy. Will I get another Switch? Probably sometime this year or next year I will get a Switch. I'll buy Breath of the Wild again because I want to replay it. I'll buy Super Mario Odyssey and I'll buy the Street Fighter game. But other than that, it's like I don't, I don't want to play Neo Geo games anymore. You know? If I wanted to keep playing the Neo Geo games, I would have kept the Wii U. I'm sorry, I don't care about 1080p, 60 frames a second. It's a fucking Neo Geo game. It was never meant to be played at 1080p and 60 frames per second. So that's just how I feel about it. I mean, it's a good system. I love the portability of it. But after Breath of the Wild came out and I played it, I didn't, my kids played 1-2 Switch every once in a while with their friends. That was it. And even then, they didn't, they treated it as if it was another piece of Wii U shareware. So, or WiiWare, as they called it. But we go from Nintendo to PlayStation here. Sony sent me an email this week, March 1st, which was yesterday, at about 5:03 p.m. I get this email. It says, hello, PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita titles will be included in PlayStation Plus monthly game allocation until March 8th, 2019. After March 8th, 2019, the monthly games provided to PlayStation Plus members will no longer include PS3 or PS Vita titles. Any PS3 or PS Vita monthly game downloads or previous added game downloads to your list will remain playable for as long as you remain a PS Plus member. Beyond March 8th, 2019, monthly games will only include PlayStation 4 titles. All other features and benefits of the PlayStation Plus service will remain unaffected. What this means for you. As a PlayStation Plus member, you will continue to receive free monthly games for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita every month of your membership until March 8th, 2019. After March 8th, 2019, PS3 and PS Vita titles will no longer be included in your monthly game allocation. Any PS3 or PS Vita monthly game previously added to your download list will remain playable for as long as you remain a PS Plus member. I'm happy that they're doing this. I think I tweeted out that they're doing it this year, and I'm sorry for that. If you're listening to this, it's actually 2019. I misread it. I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and did it this year. Do I think they should go ahead and do it this year? Yes. Why? It's time for the PS3 and the PS Vita to go off into collector land. I don't own a Vita. I never have owned a Vita. I think you could pick up a Vita right now at GameStop for like $200. I'm surprised that they are still selling Vitas. Anyway, PlayStation 3, I owned one for like a year. And that was only because the PS4 just came out and I couldn't afford one. So I went ahead and bought a PS3, said, okay, I'll do this for a year and until I get the tax money, and then I'll buy my PS4. And that's exactly what I did. I bought a PS4 and a Wii U both on the same day. And then a year later, the Switch came out. So, but I think this is time to happen. It's time for them to stop supporting the PS3. There's hardly any new titles coming out for it. The fact that wrestling games are still coming out for the PS3 and even the damn Switch is beyond me. But anyway, I think it's time for it to happen. I would love to buy a PS3 again just because there are games that I downloaded on it that I can't play on my PS4 because either the PS4 isn't able to run them or PlayStation hasn't put them available yet and they would want me to buy them again. So yeah. March 8th, 2019, if you own a PS3 or PS Vita and you're a PS Plus member, no more free games. And other video game news, Donald Trump. I don't want to talk about this. I don't like talking about politics on my channel, but I will. President Trump will meet with members of the video game industry, quote-unquote video game industry, to discuss what can be done about video games in the wake of the Parkland, Florida shooting in February. After the shooting, Trump hosted a meeting at the White House to discuss school safety, and among subjects that came up were the level of violence in video games and movies. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said Trump will, quote, be meeting with members of the video game industry to see what they could do out on that front as well. Trump said he's heard from, quote-unquote, more and more people that the level of violence in video games is really shaping young people's thoughts. Oh, it's the devil's music. It's the devil's music. That wasn't the first time he's pointed a finger at video games. Following Sandy Hook in 2012, he tweeted, "Video game violence and glorification must be stopped. It's creating monsters." Matt Belvin of the Republican governor, Republican governor of Kentucky, also pointed to video games in the wake of Parkland recently. Going back to the recent White House briefing, Sanders said, "This is going to happen. Or this is going to be an ongoing process, something we don't expect to happen overnight, but something that we expect to continue to be engaged in, and we'll continue to look forward to for the best way possible to make sure we can do best." Golly, this article is all over the place. Best ways possible to make sure we're doing everything we can to schools across the country. Oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy. The ESA says it has not been invited to any meeting with Trump. They say the ESA and our member companies have not received an invitation to meet with President Trump, the organization told GamesBeat on Thursday evening. It's crazy how they don't, you know. The ESRB is out there for a reason, guys. When Grand Theft Auto 5 came out a few years ago, it's up to the parents' decision. It's the parents' decision overall. It's up to the parents to be engaged with their kids. When I have a 6-year-old and he goes, "I want to buy Grand Theft Auto 5," if I'm not in the know about what a Grand Theft Auto 5 is, okay, you're a parent. You probably have a computer in your house because most of your kids' homework is done online nowadays, which means you have access to Google, which means you could go Google Grand Theft Auto 5. And when you see Grand Theft Auto 5 and what a violent game it is, it's up to you as a parent to say, "No, I'm not buying you this shit." I won't let my kid is 8 years old, about to turn 9. He's playing Minecraft. That's it. That's the extent. I will not let him play Grand Theft Auto 5 or any other Grand Theft Auto game until he's probably around 17 or 18 years old. Why? Because the ESRB says it's not fit for kids under 18. But getting back to Grand Theft Auto 5, I can distinctly remember when I went to go pick that game up. It was on launch day. And I had 3 kids in front of me with their parents. They were under 18. They were there with their parents. And they were saying, "I'm here to pick up Grand Theft Auto 5. And they were either asking for their IDs or their parents' IDs. GameStop is doing their job. They were doing their job. And if they weren't asking for IDs, they were looking at the parents and going, "You do know this is rated M for mature. Do you realize the level of maturity, the level of mature content in this game?" And their parents are clueless. The parents are fucking clueless. "Yeah, it's okay. Just give them the game." That's what they're doing. It's not the video game's fault. It's not the manufacturer or the publisher's fault. It's you parents' fault. It's the parents. It's these parents who allow their kids to play this shit. It's not meant for kids. If your kids should still be playing Minecraft at 17, not Grand Theft Auto 5. Or 17's a bit old. 17-year-olds can handle it. Hopefully they've reached a level of maturity. And if they haven't, it's up to you parents. It's up to you parents to gauge that level of maturity in your child. If your kid's a bad, I'm going to say it, fuck it. If your kid's a bad apple at school, he's constantly in trouble, do you think Grand Theft Auto 5 is the game for him? And it's not just Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm just using it as an example. There are other games out there. But the bottom line is, I've seen firsthand retailers like GameStop. I don't know about Walmart or anywhere like that. But GameStop is doing their job. They're looking at the parents. They're telling them, this game is rated M for mature audiences, 18 and younger. Are you sure you want to buy this for your child? And the clueless parents, okay, yeah, go ahead and give him the game. Gets him out of my hair for like 20 minutes to 2-3 hours a day up in his room. I don't care. I ain't got to deal with him. I can sit downstairs and drink my beer and jack off. It's okay. Just let him play the game. That's what parents are doing, and that's why this comes up now. Oh, maybe now, once my kid goes in there and shoots up a school, maybe then I should take an interest in his life. After he's already shot himself because he doesn't want to go to jail, or after the cops have him, then I should take an interest. No, take an interest now. And for all you parents out there who are also gamers like me, I don't play games like that while my son is in the room. And if he comes in the room and talks to me, I hit the pause button. Or if he's going to be in the living room for an extended period of time, I turn the game off. Why? Because he doesn't need to see shit like South Park Stick of Truth, or South Park Fractured But Whole, or Grand Theft Auto 5. The same way with TV shows. I don't let my son come in the room when I'm watching The Walking Dead or Sons of Anarchy or anything else that's rated TVMA. It's the same thing in any form of entertainment. Movies. I took my son to see Black Panther. It's PG-13. If it was rated R, no. I took my son after Rowdy Roddy Piper died. A local place in Greensboro called Geeksboro showed They Live. I took my son to see They Live. He laughed at it. I covered his eyes during the nudity part at the end. He doesn't scare easily. But it's They Live. It's a movie from the freaking 80s that has skeletons in it, guys. It's skeletons. It has one shot of tits at the end. That's it. And sex. It's not going to scar him for life. And he's not being subjected to it over and over and over like video games. Do I think it can have an influence in kids? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But it's up to the parents like me to take a step in there, take an influence in there, take a stand with it. Don't let your kid play that shit. It's not the video game industry's fault. It's not the politicians' fault. It's not the ESRB's fault. It's you as a parent's fault if you let your kids play this shit. It's up to you. You are the parent. You are the end-all, be-all in your kid's life until they're 21 years old. So just think about that a little bit. Because I guarantee you, if you don't start taking an interest in your kids' lives when it comes to what they're playing, what they're reading, it's like that old, you ever seen the Music Man musical? Matthew Broderick did a remake of it back in the late 90s, early 2000s. There's a song in the Music Man called You Got Trouble. Go listen to that song. That's what the White House is trying to say. Oh, you got trouble, my friends. There's trouble right here in River City. Got to think of Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule, And in the musical, it's a pool table. Oh, there's a pool table in town. Oh, you got trouble. Your kids, instead of learning at school, they're going to be down here at the pool hall. Oh, you got trouble, parents. Instead of teaching your kids the Golden Rule, they're in front of the PlayStation. They're right. Oh, you got trouble. That Xbox One is the devil's tool. Oh, you got trouble. So before you sit there and start blaming, oh, you got trouble, the PS4, then the Xbox One, and the Switch. Oh, take a look at in the mirror, because that's where the trouble is. And it's not just video games. I'm going to go on a tangent here since I'm getting political. It's overall parenting. Can't spank your kids anymore. Got to put them in timeout. Got to take away the Nintendo. Got to take away the Xbox. Got to take away the PS4. Hell, if my mom discovered a damn gun in my room, or discovered that I wasn't treating a gun properly and giving a firearm the respect that it deserves, yes, treat firearms with respect. Oh, what a novel concept. What I mean by that is use it the way it was supposed to be intended. Go out there and shoot an animal if you want to, in season, within the proper regulations. But if my mom would have discovered a gun in my room, I would have gotten the shit smacked out of me. The fuck are you doing with this? Are you fucking that stupid? You know, come on. Well, we can't do that to kids anymore, Joe, because they run off and tell the police that we're hitting them. Okay, yeah, they literally taught us that. And starting with my generation, I was told by a police officer who came to my school and said, hey, if your parents spank you, call the cops. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I mean, you know, you let these kids, I see parents letting these kids run around like chickens with their heads cut off. It's why I'm not going to Chapel Hill next weekend for CWF, because there's going to be a lot of kids there, and their parents are just going to let them run wild. Put your fucking kids on a leash, goddammit. Keep your kids under control. Do you have to spank them to get it done? No. But you can look at your kid and go, hey, Timmy, act like you got some fucking sense. Act like you were actually born with a brain in your head. You know? It's like what Les Thatcher said a long time ago when he was talking about wrestling promos and effectiveness. Les Thatcher says, you know, if you look at a kid and tell Johnny, don't do that or I'm going to spank you, has far less effect than if you were looking at Johnny going, if you do that again, I'm going to beat your ass to the moon and back. I'm not saying you have to do it. But use your words. You know, your words have a lot of effectiveness, as George Carlin used to say. Anyway, I'm getting off on a wild tangent here. Anyway, let's go to our next topic here, some wrestling. Let's talk some pro wrestling here. According to a message from WWE sent to fans who purchased WrestleMania 34 travel packages, several items are banned from the weekend events, including beach balls, balloons, tablets, and iPads. Yay! Does that mean that that will stop them from popping up? Probably not. What will stop them from popping up, WWE, is if you do hardcore searches. You ever see the Beavis and Butthead movie? The lead FBI agent who was voiced from the guy from Unsolved Mysteries? I want a cavity search. I'm talking Roto-Rooter. It's called Empty Your Pockets Out on This Table. Let us go through your fucking bags with a fine-tooth comb. We're going to say that we're looking for bombs, but what we're really looking for is beach balls. What we're really looking for is your stupid signs. What we're really looking for is balloons and iPads and tablets. And if you find it in the bag, you take it and you throw it away because it's not allowed in our arena. That's what WWE should be doing. They're quick to take away a sign that says Enzo didn't do it, but they're going to let, you know, these fans somehow get away with smuggling a fucking beach ball in. It's going to happen. And you know my thoughts on the whole beach ball thing and the stupid chants and the one fall and too sweet and all that shit. You know my thoughts on it. I'm not even going to go into it. Is this a good thing for WWE to do? Yes. How they're, you know, the only other way besides this that I could think of them not getting beach balls in is empty your pockets. If you're wearing a jacket, take it off. We're going to shake it down. We're going to pat you down, too, before you enter the arena. Oh, God, they're violating my privacy. They're going to pat me down and frisk me before I enter in the building. I'm violating. Get over it. Get over it. It's to protect the overall integrity of the product. It's to make sure you stupid fucking idiots don't disrespect the wrestlers who are bumping their asses off in the ring, putting on a show for you. And it's to protect the rest of the audience. Because what if they're patting down for beach balls and they find a gun on somebody or a knife on somebody? They just saved your fucking life, folks. Roman Reigns is in the news. Filmmaker John Bravo, who is set to release a video regarding proof of drugs being purchased by Roman Reigns and other WWE stars, issued the following comment to YouTube channel Heal by Nature. Says, hi, video should be out shortly, just filming the last parts now, and then it's getting reviewed by my attorneys. I'm going to have to hide after this video. Most people don't understand that I'm just investigating what someone else states. It's a tough job. Yeah, you're going to have to go into hiding because they're going to sue you for slander unless you have some hardcore proof. You're going to get slammed, man. Now, all these WWE fanboys and fangirls who mark out over Roman Reigns, ooh, dude, you better hide. Should he have to hide? No. Not if the evidence is true. Not if the evidence is out there and it's clear that Roman Reigns is in the wrong. This is all going back to when he failed that drug test a couple years ago. If this is true, does it mean that WWE should probably not push Roman Reigns anymore? Maybe. Does it mean that they should treat him like the next Enzo Amore? Probably not. I don't think it's that severe. But he does paint this shit in a bad light. But you know what WWE is going to do once this is released? They're going to poo-poo it. They're not even probably going to acknowledge it. Except for they're going to make a statement. I mean, they already have acknowledged it. But they're probably going to come out with another statement if this is proven to be true. And if this John Bravo guy and this other guy who's in jail has legitimate proof that, Joe Anuai has purchased this, and they have receipts and everything, and text messages from this guy stating this, then all WWE is going to do is go, he's back in such and such 2000 such and such, he failed a drug test. We're not allowed to say what he failed for because of HIPAA laws probably, but he failed our substance abuse. We followed our abuse policy to the letter, our wellness policy to the letter. He paid his dues, took his licks, and now he's done with it. Now, do I agree with that? Yeah. If WWE is going to come out and say, hey, we knew about it, we suspended him for it, we didn't come out there and say exactly what it was for. Why? Because we really don't fucking have to, first of all. But since you're going to poke and prod around and try to expose a guy, we're going to go ahead and tell you we suspended him for XYZ back in 2000 such and such, and that was that. And he's passed every drug test since, which means he's off the juice. End of story, case closed. This isn't going to make a bit of difference. It's just what I feel about it. Man, I think, this guy in jail is just trying to create a smear campaign. It's not going to work. It may work for people like Mark Wahlberg and everybody else who he's trying to get, but WWE is going to be like, we already got ahead of this. We were well aware of it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing a 2-year-old story back to light. Now go away. Have fun in jail. And you little John Bravo guy, piss off, go away. That's what's going to happen. As you folks know, I love me some NASCAR, and NASCAR is going west as all 3 major series in NASCAR, the Camping World Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup Series are all out in Las Vegas this weekend. The Monster Energy Cup is presenting the Pennzoil 400, presented by Jiffy Lube, Sunday, March 4th, 3:30. Fantasy picks for this. I'm liking Martin Truex Jr. This is where he pretty much got his first. Win last year on his tear. So I got in my fantasy. Again, this is before practice or qualifying. Damn, they're qualifying today? Shit. Okay. I got Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and in my garage I got Kyle Busch. Those are my fantasy picks. As for my stage winners, I got Martin Truex Jr. taking the pole, and I have Joey Logano taking stage 1. Why, I don't know. Again, I have to wait till after practice today at 2 p.m. Eastern and shuffle my deck around a little bit. But I got Truex winning stages 2 and 3, and of course Toyota being my manufacturer winner. So if you want to play along with me, go over to NASCAR.com, click on the little fantasy button, and sign up today. That's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you have any comments on any of the topics that I discussed, leave them down below. And we will see you down the road. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. There's going to be a button right there on your screen that pops up now to subscribe. And of course, other video suggestions as well. We will see you down the road.